Hi, if this is your first time here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Or if you're like me and you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Chaotic Curl, and in today's video, I'm actually going to be making another bralette, but this time we're going to be making it a little bit different. So I am going to be using a pattern actually that I learned off of Pinterest. It's going to be with fan stitches. So I'm just going to show you guys the yarn that I'm going to be using with it. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And of course, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at chaoticcurl_crafts, where you can see pictures of this project once it's done and all the other projects that I've previously made as well. Now for this week's project, I'm actually going to be using this yarn. It's called the Truboo from Lion brand, and it's 100% rayon from bamboo. So this yarn actually takes a 4mm hook, which of course I've got mine right here ready to go. I did make sure to list all of the other supplies that you're going to need in the description box down below, so don't forget to check that out as well so you can have everything ready to go once you're ready to start this project. But like I said, I am going to be making a bralette. It's going to be a very lacy stitch. I'm going to show you guys how to put that together right now. The stitch has fans and it has double crochet and it has chain stitches, so you do want to make sure that you know how to do that. Of course, I will show you guys how to do it here as well, but you do want to have at least a basic knowledge just so that we can get through this. But for this project, sorry about that. So for this project, what I'm actually going to do is have that lace be the first 3 or 4 rows in the front panel, and then I'm just going to build up the front panel with all half double crochet, and then of course finish it off with the lace as well. It's going to be basically like a bandeau, you could say, but in a bralette shape. It's going to be a very rectangular bralette, not like the one I made in my previous video. But I am going to make sure to make it with straps, and it's going to have a side tie close. I'm not sure which side I'm going to put it on yet, but of course we'll figure that out before I finish this project, just so that everything is set up and in place, ready to go when I'm ready to show you guys what it looks like at the end. But as of right now, I am actually ready to get started, so let's get started on that mesh pattern. So here I have my base chain, as you can see, and I actually made it with 72 chains, since the diagram does say to do it with a multiple of 6, and well, 6 times 12 is 72, so this should be enough stitches. Now I'm just ready to get started with my stack single crochet turning chain, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and this is what it should be looking like. There's my turning stitch. I chained it 2, and then I just skipped 2 from the chain below and did another double crochet. And that's how we're going to continue with the pattern. So it's going to be chain 2, which I already did here. So I just skipped 2 from the chain, and in that third stitch, you're going to double crochet, and you're just going to continue this way until you make it to the end, which you should be ending with a double crochet. So I'm going to keep going from here, double crocheting, chaining 2, until I make it to the end of the row, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Okay, so this is what you should have at the end of that first chain. And now we're gonna do that second row, and it's gonna be exactly the same as the first one. So I already got started with my single crochet turning chain and chaining 2. And so from here, you're just gonna do a double crochet, chain 2 until you make it to the end of the row. And the same as with the first one, you should be ending with a double crochet. So you're just gonna double crochet each double crochet and chain 2 between them. So that way you can get the little mesh started. So I'm just gonna keep going from here, and I'll see you guys at the end of the row for row. Okay, so here, as you can see, I finished rows 1 and 2. So I've established the mesh. So now we're actually gonna get started on the fan stitches. Now, according to the diagram, I'm gonna be doing single crochets and then 5 double crochet for the fans. So I'm actually gonna change angles just so you guys can see this a little better, but that's what's gonna be happening in this. Okay, now like I said, for this third row, we're going to start off with a single crochet. So I'm going to chain 1 and do my single crochet right into that double crochet from the previous row. And then, like I said, we're going to do in that next double crochet, we're actually going to do 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is the pattern we're going to be repeating from here on. So since I just did my fan stitch in this next double crochet from the previous row, we're going to do a single crochet, and then if you've guessed it, in this next fan stitch, in this next double crochet, well, I just gave it away, but we're going to be doing another fan stitch, and we're just going to continue this way until the end of the row. And at the end of the row, you should be finishing with a single crochet. So I'll see you guys at the end. Okay, so this is what row 3 looks like. So now we're going to start on row 4. And for row 4, as you can see, it's going to be a little different than rows 1 and 2. We're actually going to start off with our single crochet stack turning chain like normal. And we're going to chain 2 as well. But for this one, instead of doing a double crochet in the middle here, we're actually going to do a single crochet at the top of the fan. And then chain 2. And now for the part where we have the double crochet, where we have the single crochet from the previous row, we're going to do a double crochet in there. And we're going to chain 2. So we're just going to continue this way, where on the fan, we do that single crochet into the third double crochet from the fan, chain 2, and then in the single crochet, it's just a double crochet, chain 2. And I'm going to continue this way down the row until I make it to the end, which of course should be finishing with a double crochet. Okay, so this is what we have now that I've finished row 4. And from here, I just have to let you know the diagram does repeat from here. So it is a 4-row repeat. So from here, we're actually going to redo row 1, 2, and 3, and then row 4 again. So I'm just going to get started off with row 1 again, which was this double crochet mesh row with the 2 chain stitches in between each double crochet. So I'm just going to get started with my stacked single crochet turning chain. And I'm gonna get working on row 1 again, just like the diagram calls for. So from here, just do this real quick. I just chain 2, and then on the single crochet that we had put in the middle of the fan stitch, we're gonna do a double crochet. We chain 2. On top of that double crochet from the previous row, we do a double crochet. chain 2, and we'll just continue this way, double crocheting on top of the single crochet in the middle of those fan stitches and double crocheting on the single double crochets in between each fan stitch. And we'll just continue that way until I make it to the end of the row. And of course, like I said, it's gonna be ending with a double crochet. And also, like I said, this is a repeat, so I'm just gonna do from here, I'm gonna finish off row 1, do rows 2, 3, and 4 again, and I'll come back to show you guys once I have that second repeat completed. Okay, and I just wanted you guys to see how I'm working up that row 1 again at a better angle. So in this one, as you can see, I have that single crochet there. So I'm just going to do my double crochet right into that single crochet, chain 2, and then the next stitch is going to be that double crochet, which is going to get double crocheted, chain 2, and then again that single crochet on top of the fan gets a double crochet and chain 2. And you just continue that way, like I said, until you make it to the end of the row. Okay, so like I said, I'm back to show you guys what it looks like after 2 repetitions. So this is 8 rows, and this is what the pattern is looking like so far. Now, of course, I'm going to continue building it up. This is going to be the back panel, so I am going to do a couple more repetitions and then just show you guys what it looks like afterwards before I get started on that front panel. But again, this is just 2 repeats of the pattern. So as you can see, I did row 1, row 2, row 3 with the fans, and row 4 over and over. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I build up the back panel to where I want it to be, and then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like, and of course get started on that front panel. So as promised, I'm back and I was able to finish that panel I was working on. This is going to be the back panel for the top that we're making. But the more I'm seeing this pattern, the more I'm unsure if I'm going to do just straps or if I'm going to do sleeves. So what I'm actually going to do is get started on the front panel now and see how much yarn I have left over. So once I finish that front panel, I'll come back and show you guys what it's looking like. It's going to be just the border in this pattern, and then I'm just going to do half double crochet to build it up. So there's not going to be that much to show, but I am going to be continuing this pattern onto the front panel in the bottom portion, as well as the sleeves if I have enough yarn. So like I was saying, once I finish that front panel, if I have enough yarn, I'll come back and show you guys how I did, what the front panel is looking like, as well as how I'm going to get started on those sleeves. And if I don't have enough yarn for sleeves, then of course I'll show you guys how I'm going to be making the straps. But like I said, this is the back panel. That's what the pattern is looking like, and I'm loving it. So what I did was I just did the repetitions 4 times. So as you can see, the little fans are there 4 times, and then instead of making a 5th one, I just repeated row 1 and 2 again, just so that the top and the bottom can match. And that's basically the back panel. So now I'm going to get started on the front panel, and I'll come back to show you guys this one and the front one completed, and we'll talk about those sleeves. Okay, so I'm working on the front panel now, and I just wanted to show you guys how it's going. So as you can see, I have the fan design on the bottom, which I am going to have to add another row of the mesh just to kind of round it out and make it match better with the back. But as you can see, I made sure to include the little holes on one side so that way I could have the side closed still. But what I'm doing, actually, the pattern I'm following for the solid portion of the front panel, I'm doing 2 half double crochet rows and then a full double crochet row, 2 half double crochets, and then a double crochet for the little rows where I'm including the gap. So each row where you see a little hole or a gap, that's a double crochet row, and then in between it's 2 half double crochet. And I'll just keep building it up this way until I get to the top, and then I'll show you guys what I'm going to do there. Okay, I've made it to the point in the project where the front panel and the back panel are the same size. So I'm actually going to start reducing or decreasing in the front panel now, so that way I can have it come in a little bit, you know, give it a little more shape at the top. So I'm just going to start doing double crochet from here, and I'm going to be double crocheting my decreases. So from here it's going to be the double crochet until I'm ready to finish the top, and then I'll make sure to add our lace detailing again at the top, and of course I'll show you guys how that goes. So here is the finished front panel. I decided not to add that extra row at the bottom. I do like the way that it looks down there. I'm just not liking the way that it looks up here at the top. So I think I'm actually going to remove the lace that I have up here, or I'm going to go back just a few more stitches, a couple of decreases, undo them, and then redo the lace just so that it's not so tiny, to give myself a little bit more space, since I am going to be adding on the sleeves. So that way this part doesn't need to be so small, because if I was adding the straps then it would make sense, because then I would just add the straps here, which would of course pull it out, and then it would be perfect. But since I'm adding sleeves, I'm kind of wanting to build the sleeves on top of it. So I'm just going to go back a few rows of decreases. I would say maybe I'll go back 2 rows of decreases to about there, and then just rebuild the mesh again. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, rebuild the mesh again. And as you can see, what I've been doing here is I've marked off the center stitch, and I'm just doing single crochet there, so that way the lace kind of curves in like a sweetheart neckline. Hopefully that works out the way that I'm seeing it. But like I said, I'm going to go back those 2 rows, finish this off, and then get started on the sleeves. And when I'm ready to get started on the sleeves, I'll show you guys what the new front panel is looking like, as well as how I'm going to be building up those sleeves. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, I have an update on the top. As you can see, I was able to fix this portion here. So I did go back those 2 rows that I said, and I fixed the lace at the top, and I did actually go back and add that extra row at the bottom. I also attached the front and back panels to each other, and I did make an executive decision. I'm not going to be making sleeves for this top. I'm just going to be making a strap. So I'm going to go ahead and make the strap for both sides, attach them, and then I'll come back and show you guys the finished top. Here's the completed top. As you can see, I have that little mesh lace pattern at the bottom and at the top, as well as in the straps. And this side is fully closed, but this side has the opening to lace it up. And let me show you guys what the back looks like. And so this is the completed bralette. It looks super cute. I really do like the way that it fits. I have to do a little bit of adjustment as far as the strap on this side, just because, as you can see, I did it a little bit too close to the edge. It should have been a little more further out. But aside from that, I love the way that the top fits, and it did take me a lot longer to finish, just because I was really insisting on making those sleeves. But after starting them over again 3 times, I decided it would be better off with the strap, just how much trouble I was going through with getting the sizing right for the sleeves. But I definitely like that I went with a strap instead of a sleeve for this top. And if I do make it again, I would like to see it with the sleeve. But for right now, I'm loving the way that it looks right now. And I'm definitely loving this side here where I can just tie it on up, make my cute little bow, and continue with my day. So this is what the top is looking like. And even though it did take me a while to finish this top from when I started, as you can tell, I cut my hair in the meantime, but it had nothing to do with the lace pattern. The lace pattern was actually super easy to follow and super easy to work up. It was just, again, like I said, getting the sizing right for the sleeves. So if you do decide to try this, make sure that you get your measurements right And just keep in mind that it does shrink just a little bit. So I would say add a couple more stitches if you are going to try to make this top again. If you are going to try to make this top with sleeves, make sure that you add a couple of inches, or at least a half an inch of allowance, just for the lace pattern to shrink up just a little bit, because it does shrink just the tiniest bit. But the top came out perfect. I absolutely love it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed making this top with me as well. Whatever project it is that you're working on, I hope that it goes well and you don't have to start it over again 2 or 3 times. You can just get it on the first shot. And I thank you guys so much for joining me in today's video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And of course, don't forget to join me over on my Instagram and my TikTok now at chaoticgirl_crafts, where you'll be able to see pictures of this project as well as other projects that I've previously worked on in the past. Thanks so much for joining me in this week's video, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye!